Hi everyone, it's Donna Robertson with Fabric Cafe, and this is the last time you'll see Fran this time around because this is her visit this week. She'll be back, won't you?
I will, hopefully in about 8 weeks.
All right. We are having so much fun getting ready for the videos and doing all of these different little projects so that we can bring to you. And today we have something a little bit extra for you because I was so excited when Teresa Hadley, she works in our shipping department, and she brought something in to show me this morning, so I wanted to show it to you. So we're going to start right here, John. I believe it was Thursday last week, we showed you this great baseball fabric. Does any of you remember that? And I thought it would go great with the Checkmate pattern. And so Teresa bought the kit immediately, and she went home and made Checkmate with the baseball fabric, and we thought it was just absolutely fantastic. So we're starting our show. The star is the baseball fabric all made up in the Checkmate, which is amazing because I haven't even made my model yet. So it will be a model that we make for Fabric Cafe as well. All right. Now we're going to talk about fat quarters today. We mentioned that we were doing a fat quarter book, and we will not have the fat quarter book out until probably the fall. And so what we thought we would do is make you aware of the fact that we have some individual fat quarter patterns, like the 5-yard spool. This is a pattern that I designed in 2011. And it's been around all this time, but I haven't made new models or really brought it out. I got kind of sidetracked with my 3-yard quilts, and I'd quit messing with it. The 5-yard spools is made with 12 fat quarters and 2 yards of fabric. So it's going to be a bigger quilt than a 3-yard quilt because it's made with 5. And Fran and I are going to show you a model. Now please keep in mind we do not have this fabric that the model is made with, but we do have a look-alike that we put together for you. So here is the 5-yard spools. Let me step over here. So is that not just adorable? So we were rearranging things and moving things out of our quilt cabinets, and we found this, and I said, oh my gosh, we have got to do this quilt. It is just too cute. Look how we made the multicolor border on it. Isn't that precious? So it takes 2 yards of your background fabric and 12 assorted fat quarters. So if you have 12 assorted fat quarters in your stash, how many of you think you might? If I were in a class, I'd ask you to raise your hand, and probably everybody would raise their hand.
But just post and let us know.
Yeah. So if you like this one, let us know. Now we're going to show you 2 kits that we pulled together that you can purchase to make the fat quarter spools. And the size of this quilt is 58 by 67. So it's a really nice size quilt. The first one we're going to do is this one. So if John wants to come up here. Oh, I want to show you the pattern first. Sorry about that. Okay, this is the pattern. And the reason I wanted to show you is I wanted to show you how I write my instructions for the different pieces that you need for the actual pattern. So I'll tell you, you need 1 fat quarter for your binding, you need 11 for the spools, you need 11 sorted, and then for the background you need 2 yards. For backing you need 4 yards. I thought you needed 5 yards for this quilt, but we'll have to double check that. Okay.
So I have to point out, Michelle Wilcox just joined us.
Well, Michelle, look, it's Fran.
Hi, Michelle.
Michelle Wilcox. We go way back. When we were about 3, we met. So that was just about 20 years ago, right?
Maybe more.
Well, we're really excited about that. So it's great. You know, old friends, dear to our heart.
Absolutely.
All right. So 5-yard spools is the pattern, and these are the fabrics that we put together so you can make a polka dot.
So I have to say, so we pulled these together today, and what fun we had. It's been a long time since we pulled fabric together. And it has just been a blast.
It has been fun. We've been running around going, oh, look at this one, look at this one. So we wanted to bring you some dots, and you can see how these would be very similar to the spools pattern here. So if we put this up here, it'll give you that kind of a look that you're looking for with all of the little dots. And we threw in some dotty flowers too. We thought that would be cute. So what you do is you have 12 assorted fat quarters, 2 1-yard cuts of fabric. One of these fat quarters will be your binding, and then this white one. This kit is called Delightful Dots. It's 5-yard spools pattern. The pattern is free when you buy the kit. It just comes right there wrapped all together, and you'll get the 2 yards and the 12 fat quarters. All right, we'll move this one over. And then Fran made this great sample of the spools with florals, because we saw we saw these and wanted to do a quilt with it. And Teresa Hadley, the same one that made the baseball quilt, she was helping us fold fat quarters, and she goes, "Are you going to use the spools for this? That would just be so adorable." And I looked at Fran and I said, "Okay, we're not making Patch happy with that. We're making spools."
And it's darling. What a fantastic idea it was.
And we like these little dotty, swirly things that are going on here.
Stitches.
It does. So these are the fat quarters, and just like the other one, you need 12 assorted. But what we did is we put 2 of the same in there, so you can use one of these for the border if you want, the binding, or you can use it as part of your spools. You get to choose, and it will be adorable.
So we have a real important question about this.
Okay.
How much are they?
The kits are $49. You get 5 yards of fabric, 3 yards of fat quarters, and 2 1-yard cuts of the background fabric, plus the pattern. So that's how much they are, and I think this one's adorable. I hope everybody agrees. Do you want me to flip through a little bit on the fabrics that are in here? This one has hearts, and then we've got the greens and the blues and the reds, and see, like there's blue and red and green in this one, and it's just great. And we had all of these fabrics on our shelf, so we had fun just pulling them together. So that one is called Spools.
And the kit is called Granny's Garden. That's the fat quarter kit for this. And your order number is there as well.
Did you get that? All right, we'll move this one over. Now the next fat quarter pattern that we have available is, let's look at Fran. She's going to hold up the quilt. This one is called Fat Quarter 4-Patch, isn't it?
Yes.
Got it.
Okay. Fat Quarter 4-Patch was actually published in 2009.
Oh, wow.
So this is like going back in time. But we had so much fun when we found these quilts in our cabinet. You can just imagine how many quilts we have in our cabinet. But this is one that Fran designed in 2009. And so, of course, we do not have these fabrics, but we did find some great replacements for you. So we'll show you those. And we'll talk about this pattern and how it's written. So if you want to come over here and catch this. This one tells you need 12 fat quarters as follows. You need a sashing and sashing blocks. You need 4 matching colors. So if you look at our set here, you get 4 matching colors, and those will be your sashing blocks and your sashing. And then it says that you need 1 contrasting. So that's your contrast right here for your blocks. So you'll have your sashing, and then you'll have this for your block. And then the pattern says you need 3 coordinating lights and 3 darks, and then 1 for the binding. So we picked out some lights and darks here, and we suggested this one for your binding. So I think these will be gorgeous as the Fat Quarter 4-Patch. So let's put the quilt up here. Let me put that up here on the table. So these are your sashings. So that's why you have 4 of those. And then this would be your sashing block. So that's how we did those. Now the next one is the same pattern, but we've got a little bit different coloration. So let me pull that one up for you. You should have seen us deciding how we could show you fat quarters. They're not the same. So we found these great boards on the other side. It tells you all about 3-yard quilts. That's what we use at our shows. Okay, so this one, a lot of you know that we've had a really popular kit called City Lights, and we thought it would be a pretty one, so I even gave you a picture. This is still the fat quarter 4-patch, but I actually put the kit together so that you could use these as your lights and your darks. And it'll come out looking like that picture. You'll get that particular pattern with that picture. So if we go back to what we said before, you need 4 of the darks for your sashing. You'll need 1 light one for your contrast for your sashing blocks. And then you're going to need 3 coordinating lights and 3 coordinated darks and 1 for your binding. And this will make the fat quarter 4-patch, but it will be out of just the 3 colors. And these, the fat quarter 4-patch, I don't remember the pricing on these. Do you remember, John?
That one I think is
34. Okay, so 34. We have different prices, and I apologize I didn't catch that price. All right. So this.
And the 4-patch is what, a 40? How big is that?
How big it is? 42 by 58.
Okay.
And I am 60 inches tall, so I can almost hide behind it. And of course, you can add the 1 yard to your quilt. If you wanted a little bigger, you can use 1 yard to put a 5-inch border on any one of the quilt kits. This is a 3-yard quilt kits, but it's 3 yards of fat quarters.
Now that border pattern, how to add a border, I believe that's on our free
goodies.
Mm-hmm. So go check that out too.
So just click on the free goodies button on the fabriccafe.com site, and we've got all kinds of goodies in there for you to download, and one of them is how to do backings, and another one is how to do the extra borders.
Pretty handy.
All right, we'll move this one over here. And now we've got another fun one. Look at this one. Here's a swatch that Fran made for us. Isn't that one great? This one's called Stars and Stripes. And many of you may recognize this as our recent patriotic quilt. But we just quickly put it together as a 4-patch fat quarter kit. We wanted you to have an opportunity to try one of our fat quarter kits if you wanted to. So once again, we needed the 3 light and the 3 dark, and we put red and blue in the dark section. And then you need the 4 matchers for your sashing and the contrast for your sashing block. So let's move over here. Here's your sashing block, and here is your sashing, and here are your lights and your darks. We chose the blue star. That will be your binding. So that is the Patch Happy done up in patriotic colors. That's pretty cool. I like it. Now we'll move to our Patch Happy quilt. Now this is one of the kits that we no longer have this particular fabric, but we wanted you to be able to see how pretty the quilt makes up. This is chenille by the inch. You need a jumbo pack of chenille by the inch, and it's this great soft fluffy trim that you can put on. But when you sew it onto your quilt, it goes down flat. You sew it on flat, and then you use a little chenille brush to brush it, and it poofs up just like this. And so this is a gorgeous quilt. We do not have this specific fabric, but I do have 2 other quilts to show you, and I do have those fabrics. So we'll put that over to one side.
And we do have a video on our tutorial page that shows you how the chenille process works.
That is correct. We do have, in fact, we have several videos on chenille, but definitely you'll want to check that out. Now I do have the fabric for this one, and that one is called Autumn Landscape. And these kits, these last 2 kits that I show you, are $29 for these kits. And with the Patch Happy, you still need 12 fat quarters. So it's pretty easy to pull 12 fat quarters. You need lights and darks. It has the chenille, but please remember, you don't have to put the chenille on. It's still a great quilt, but this is kind of like a tastefully done rag quilt, and you don't have those long strings like you do with a rag quilt. With this one, we've got our fat quarters that we can show you over here. And you need 12 fat quarters of assorted colors. You need 2 for your border, so we've put 2 matchers in there for the border, and then you need 1 for your binding. Now you don't have to use any particular one for your binding. You could use this one. That would be a cool binding as well. So you get to pick binding. And it is a 1 1/4 inch binding, single fold. If you haven't done so on this, look at our tutorial button, and there is a tutorial on how to do the economy binding. It only takes 1/4 of a yard to do an economy binding. If you want a double fold binding, you do need to purchase 1/2 of a yard of something to use for that. So this is Patch Happy. Patch Happy is 49 by 61. It's a relatively generous quilt that you can make out of the 12 fat quarters. It's called Autumn Landscape. And I'll put that one over here. Well, I think I'll put that one right down here. And we'll get this one. Now the next quilt we're going to show you is another Patch Happy. This is our newest rendition. Step back just a little. This is a really pretty springtime version that we brought out just very recently. I think we showed this in Hampton, yes. So, well, Fran was brushing it, weren't you? You were demoing when we were in Hampton, Virginia. So this one's very pretty with all of the springtime colors. I had fun putting this one together.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And it's kind of a shabby chic look. Now here are your fat quarters with this one. So we have Spring Garden is the name. Here's your number. And this one is a $29 kit. Once again, you need 12 fat quarters, 2 of them matching for your border. Your border. We can put that one up here. So we have that blue for your border, and then we put this for the binding. But you can do any one you want. You could do the darker blue if you wanted to. You get to pick which one you want for your binding. So this one is called Patch Happy, and it is a real fun fat quarter quilt to make.
And this one also uses the jumbo package of chenille by the inch. Did we mention
that? Yes. No, we didn't mention it on this, but okay. Yeah, all 3 of these. I particularly like this quilt pattern for using the chenille. And the cool thing about the chenille, if you wanted to skip quilting, you can pin your quilt together with the backing and the batting, and then you can hold your strip and sew it like you're doing a stitch in the ditch, and it will quilt your quilt at the same time. Because, let's turn this around, you can see the lines. That would hold your quilt together. You just need to make sure that you have something, a batting that is okay with 9, right. I think 10 inches, yeah.
Mm-hmm. See those stitch lines right in here.
That's right. So that is an option for you if you're in a hurry and you want to quilt with it, or you don't want to send it out to the quilter. You can just quilt it with that, with the chenille strips. It's a great way to go. So that's our program today. We just wanted you to be able to see some of our fat quarter quilts, and Fran is working on that new book, which should be out this fall. A little update on my book that we're working on now. I hope it's going to be out by the middle to the end of June, so we'll let you know. Yesterday we went and did a photo shoot. I think John put a picture up on Facebook, so if you didn't already see it, look for it. It's a picture of me and the photographer, and we're discussing how the cover's looking and everything. And I saw it today, and I'm so excited.
It looks wonderful.
It really does. We got a new photographer this time, and she's highly creative, and we are just so excited about it. So it's Donna Robertson
and Fran Morgan. And before we sign off, I would like to say thank you so much for letting me join you on these 2 videos this week.
Absolutely.
And letting me help you pick fabrics. And John, thank you so much. I appreciate all of your help as well. It's been a pleasure. Hope to do it again very soon.
I do too, because let me tell you, it is so much fun having Fran here. It's like the olden days when we first started picking fabrics, and
Yes.
we do have a blast together.
We do. We really do. We have
Yeah.
fun doing this. This is great.
So just stay tuned, because Fabric Cafe is getting better and better.
And we've got a special coupon code.
Thank you, John. We're going to have a Memorial Day special, and you get sneak peek, and it's going to be free shipping over $50. So you will have a coupon code, and the coupon code is
Retails 50.
See, we're real prepared. We were paying attention to fabric, not to,
Yep.
to codes.
We'll post
We'll,
it here
we'll
on
post
Facebook.
it on Facebook. That's what we'll do. But I believe it's retail 50. And you'll need to put that in there, because we're doing this especially for our retail customers. And if you hit $50 then in merchandise, then you will get free shipping.
Using that code.
If you don't, we always have free shipping over 100. So you can always take advantage of that. But why not take advantage of free shipping over 50?
Absolutely.
So we thank you very much. Be watching for our email. If you haven't already signed up for emails from Fabric Cafe, go to fabriccafe.com and you will be able to sign up for our newsletter. And if you sign up, what's today, Thursday? If you sign up today or tomorrow, then you will get our email that's going out this weekend to announce the special.
Cool.
All right. So thanks so much for joining us. See you next time, next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, we're going to be doing Pretty Darn Quick 3-Yard Quilts.
Yay. Great
Yes,
book.
that is a great book. And we've got lots of quilts to show you in that one. So be sure to join us next Tuesday for Fabric and Quilts. Have a great one.